Everyone in the mansion laughed when the new bodyguard arrived. A quiet African man standing
Look at
alone
this
in a
one, so
black suit.
serious.
The
He
mafia
doesn't even
sons called him
flinch. Just
useless.
standing there like a
But 5
statue.
minutes later,
Pathetic.
an assassin jumped from the balcony. Before the story continues, take a second to like the video and subscribe if you enjoy powerful revenge stories like this, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. The man standing at the entrance of the mansion didn't react to the laughter. His name was Malik Adimi. Tall, calm, silent. The grand estate belonged to the powerful Han family, one of the most feared crime dynasties in the city of Siren. And the 3 Han sons were already amused. Han, the oldest son, scoffed. Father hired him? He looks like a chauffeur, not a bodyguard, his younger brother, Min-ho, added, leaning against the marble staircase. The youngest, Dae-sung, laughed the loudest. "Hey you," he called out to Malik. "You ever protected anyone before, or do you just stand there looking serious?" The guards near the doorway chuckled. Malik didn't move. He stood perfectly still, his hands folded behind his back, eyes scanning the mansion quietly. Han smirked. "Look at him, he doesn't even speak Korean." Min-ho walked closer, circling Malik slowly. "You're supposed to protect the Han family, but honestly, you look like the one who needs protection." More laughter. From the top of the stairs, Chairman Han Song-min watched silently. The old mafia boss said nothing. He simply turned and walked into his private office. 5 minutes passed. The sons were still joking about the useless bodyguard. Then suddenly, a loud crash exploded from the second-floor balcony. Glass shattered across the marble floor. A black-clad figure dropped from above like a shadow. An assassin. Before anyone could react, the man sprinted straight toward Han's office. What the? Han shouted. Guards reached for their guns. Too slow. The assassin pulled a blade from his sleeve and lunged forward. But Malik moved first. In one blink, the quiet bodyguard stepped into the assassin's path. The blade flashed toward Malik's throat. The mansion guards gasped, but Malik's hand snapped forward. Crack! The sound of bones snapping echoed through the hall. The assassin screamed as Malik twisted his arm backward like it weighed nothing. The knife clattered to the floor. Then Malik kicked the man's leg out and slammed him face first into the marble. The entire mansion fell silent. Han stared in shock. Min-ho whispered, What the hell?" The assassin tried to move. Malik pressed a knee into his back. "Don't," Malik said calmly. It was the first time anyone heard his voice. Deep, steady, cold. Security guards rushed forward, dragging the assassin away. Chairman Han stepped out of his office slowly. His eyes studied Malik. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then the old boss nodded once. "Good work." That was all. But the sons looked uneasy now. Later that evening, the 3 brothers gathered in the private lounge. Min-ho poured himself a drink. "That guy," he muttered. "He broke the assassin's arm like it was a twig." Dae-sung frowned. "Something about him feels wrong." Han scoffed, though his voice wasn't as confident now. "Relax, he got lucky." But across the mansion, Malik stood alone on the balcony, staring into the city lights. Chairman Han stepped beside him quietly. "You handled the assassin well," the old boss said. Malik nodded once. "Thank you, sir." Chairman Han studied him carefully. "You've done this before." "Yes." "Military?" "Something like that." The old boss gave a small smile. "You're not just a bodyguard." Malik didn't answer. And that's when the first twist began to reveal itself. 2 days later, another attack happened, but this time it came from inside the mansion. Late at night, Malik heard footsteps outside Chairman Han's office. He stepped into the hallway and froze. Standing in front of the office door was Han, the eldest son, holding a gun. Malik spoke quietly. "Step away from the door." Jehan spun around, shocked. "What are you doing here?" Malik's eyes narrowed. "You shouldn't be here either." For a moment, neither man moved. Then Jehan's face hardened. "You don't understand anything," he said coldly. "That old man refuses to step down. The empire is rotting because of him." Malik said nothing. Jehan raised the gun. "I'm fixing it tonight." But before he could fire, Malik moved. In one swift motion, he knocked the gun aside and slammed Jehan against the wall. The weapon slid across the floor. Jehan struggled. "You idiot! Do you know who I am?" Malik's voice turned ice cold. "Yes." He leaned closer. "And I know what you've been doing." Jehan froze. "You hired the assassin." Silence filled the hallway. Jehan's eyes widened. How? Malik said quietly. "I recognized his fighting style. You trained together." Footsteps echoed behind them. Chairman Han stepped into the hallway. He had heard everything. The old boss looked at his son with deep disappointment. "You tried to kill me." Jehan's face twisted with rage. "You were supposed to die 2 years ago, and I was supposed to take over." The guards rushed in, grabbing him, but Jehan screamed as they dragged him away. "You're blind, father! The empire is collapsing!" The mansion fell silent again. Chairman Han sighed heavily. "Blood doesn't guarantee loyalty," he said quietly. Then he turned to Malik. "You saved my life twice." Malik bowed slightly. "I was doing my job." But the real truth hadn't come out yet, and the biggest twist was still waiting. 3 days later, Chairman Han called a meeting. All remaining family members gathered in the grand hall. Malik stood behind the old boss. Chairman Han raised his hand. "I have an announcement." The room grew quiet. "My eldest son betrayed this family." Murmurs spread. "But what none of you know is why I hired Malik." The old boss turned toward the silent bodyguard. "Tell them." Malik stepped forward. His calm eyes scanned the room. Then he spoke. "My name isn't Malik Adimi." The room froze. "My real name is Han Cairo." Gasps erupted. Min Ho stood up in shock. "That's impossible." But Han Chairman nodded slowly. 25 years ago, during a gang war, my youngest son was kidnapped." Silence. "We believed he was dead." Malik looked directly at the stunned family. "I survived." The entire mansion felt like it stopped breathing. Min Ho whispered, "You're our brother?" Malik's voice stayed calm. "I didn't come back for revenge." He looked at Chairman Han. "I came back to protect the man who never stopped searching for me." Chairman Han's eyes were wet now. The old Mafia boss stepped forward and embraced the man he thought he had lost forever. The room stood frozen, and suddenly the sons who mocked the African bodyguard realized the truth. They had been insulting the true heir of the Han Empire. Weeks later, Jehan was exiled from the family. His betrayal cost him everything. Min Ho and Dae Sung approached Malik one evening. Both looked ashamed. "We treated you like nothing," Min Ho admitted quietly. Malik looked at them calmly. "You showed me who you really were." Dae Sung lowered his head. "We were wrong." Malik said nothing, but he didn't need to, because the man they mocked as a weak outsider had become the most powerful protector the Han family ever had. And the quiet bodyguard they laughed at was the true son of the empire all along. If you enjoyed this story, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment "respect" if Malik deserved the throne. Because sometimes the man everyone laughs at is the one who was born to rule.